I should have been sharing out that whole time. I forgot totally about it.
Went off from on start, did it?
What I'm doing now.
I was just doing a bit of
three people in.
There we go, a bit of sharing. There we go.
bit of sharing, bit of caring.
Yeah, hello everybody. I hope everyone's well.
Well, tell us about you guys. What you do.
Well,
Yeah.
introduce yourself because
Right,
they know a lot about me. So.
No, I'm John from Redridge X. You can find me on a show with Annette on a Sunday. Oh, hello Rita, how you doing?
That's my wife. I'll get to know her.
Yeah, yeah. And you can also find me at Redridge X, Ghosts of Britain. I go out investigating with Lee, and also with Team Spirit Paranormal. So with those people, we know each other locally. So yeah, but I've got interests in paranormal, theology, all sorts of things. Really, I like anything that's just out of ordinary.
And what your group's Redridge X?
Yeah, Redridge X. Yeah, I mean, we've got a page in a group, and we look into paranormal, but we also like science and like religion or different religions as well. You know, just having a look at, because I don't believe in blocking anything out, because everything comes from somewhere, and it's also stored up as a story somewhere. So there's a lot of great things from all different religions, and if you put them all together, you get a really great picture. Hi, Nigel. So yeah, it's good. I like all that. Hi, Nicola.
William. Everybody's popping in now.
I know William. John D.
John D.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you see things like that. John D.
Yeah, this is from the North Pole.
Yeah, from North Pole. It's cold there. It's cold. It's cold here, I know. Yeah. Yeah, I like all those subjects, like John D. Looking into what Crowley used to do, and then there's names from Sheffield what don't get talked about much, but like Dion Fortune and stuff. Very cool tonight in North Pole. I tell you, it's cold up north. Yeah,
it's cold here too.
Yeah, Eric lives where it's freezing cold.
Oh yeah, whereabouts is that?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's Wisconsin, but it's like near Minnesota.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's the coldest part of America.
Yeah, it gets cold there. Yeah, I bet you see some snow.
Oh yeah, some years it can get up to 6 feet.
Oh no!
God,
it's a good job that's not here. We get about this much, and the entire public transport system shut down.
Yeah, the old country.
Oh, going home, you're going everywhere.
Yeah, and it's because we don't have it enough to warrant being ready for it. No. So then, when we do get it, it cripples us. It's literally terrible. But it doesn't stop me. I end up going out in it because I enjoy it.
I don't. I hate it. I hate the snow. It's not so much the snow, it's when it turns to ice. I've had a good few falls in that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, that's.
I can remember taking the kids to school once, and I virtually did the splits.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Kids were laughing. I tell you what, I weren't laughing.
No.
Nothing funny about that.
No.
Depends on how you did the splits. If you did them straight out, or if you did them this way.
No, that way. If I'd done it that way, I'd get the ambulance. No, I hate it. I'm terrified of it.
Can believe it.
I fell over. I've put my shoulder out of joint with the damn thing.
No, that's not good.
Nah, it's not good. I don't like leave the snow where it is. Not here. Right, I'm Netta, as everyone knows anyway, because you've seen me on here umpteen times. And that's my new co-host, John. We've known each other for a while, haven't we, John?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, we have. Yeah, through paranormal and things like that.
Yeah. We've done some lives together.
Yep.
From when we was on DNTV.
Yeah.
And that's where it's actually from DNTV that I started podcasting. From there, that must be about 3 years.
Yes, it has now. I have a view.
It's got about 3 years now.
Wow.
If you're wondering where I got the name from, the name comes from a deck of cards.
Oh wow.
Ah, right, yeah.
There was one of my first sets of cards that I got.
Right. So yeah,
Where my show name comes from. I love the cards. Welcome to the madhouse, John Viv.
Yep. I can get mad sometimes.
Yeah, thank you, Vivian. If it's a madhouse, I should fit.
Should you like it? I love it.
Yeah, I should fit in actually. Yeah, so now I enjoy podcastings, and we've there's loads of videos, investigations that you'll see me on internet. Been to loads of different places, but yeah, meeting different people as well. That's one of the best things, really, especially from different places, and you hear about their like local myths and legends and stuff like that. That's really good when you hear about things like that. And then like Annette, when you've done your podcasts, people have shared different stories and like, things like that. And yeah, that's what I think. That's what's really good.
Yeah, it's nice to get to know people as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like you get to know them personally, but well, you do if you meet. Obviously, if you go meet up.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the name of the game as well, to do things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places around us where we take it for granted, but if you explain it to somebody else, they'll be like, "Wow, really?" I mean, I went to this place. Me and my brother, Philip, you see him on the internet as well. We looked at different villages and we went, right, we'll go here. I can't see no on internet interesting about this place, so we're going to go. And we did, and there were nothing stands out, and we ended up in a pub. And I'm telling you what, there were a couple of old guys in there, and they had enough stories to write a book about this place. And they went, "We'll show you. Oh, this guy used to live in this little drain under village." And he goes, "We'll show you all, and it's got a grate over it." And I went, "Yeah, if you drop down there, you can have a look round." And I'm like, I can't believe it. So we went to this place thinking, there's nothing interesting. Let's try and find something. And we sat in a pub, and I think someone said hello. We said hi, what we're up to, and they just started telling us loads of stuff. Wow. And it was like, I love that. That is, you can't. I mean, you couldn't even find it on the internet. So,
no, it's original stories and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I did hear that there's a lot of underground tunnels around some of the old churches and churches and castles.
Yeah, because they used to use them as run-holes, didn't they? Sort of things and all sorts.
Yep. I've got a friend, and he works in. He maintains cables under streets and roads for telephones. So he maintains these. He goes, there's a lot of cavities, and they've got for maintenance. And he goes, the amount of times you go under, and you'll just find a void, and you're like, what's going off here? and they're there to make sure the structure's safe.
Yeah.
And one of them they found, a local, dug his own tunnel across the road to another house.
Wow.
Now you can make up why they did it. Yeah, were he literally going to see a woman over there and he didn't want no one to see? No one knows. Because no one in those houses knew about that tunnel because they were old houses. They didn't know original people. And they went, do you know you've got a tunnel from there to there? They blocked it off, but it were there. It's still there now. But they do not know why this tunnel was built under the street from one house to another.
That's crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. They could have gone out the front door and garden and just gone over the road. But they did a tunnel.
Makes you wonder what the hell it was for, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose if you give me enough time and a friend across the road, we'd hatch a weird plan like that. I'd do something like that. Why not? I've often thought of having a bunker in my back garden, underneath the garden. So I suppose if you give people time, they would do these things.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
I mean, I definitely would do it if I had enough time, but
yeah, if I had time and resources, you'll find a load of weird, crazy stuff going off around me. People said they do anyway, but I just take it as normal. But yeah,
no, I don't think it's no.
well, I find most people are afraid to go into tunnels and caves and stuff like that, and I love doing all that.
Oh, I do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I met up with some people in paranormal a few years ago, and it was in Scotland, and Scotland's really good because there's more freedom to roam.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed me these caves, and I was like, I just couldn't help it. I was straight in and out. I was like, in, have a look around. And then one of them, the sea was quite far out.
Mm-hmm.
There were a load of, so I'm like, oh, I can get in. Sea's not nearby. And then someone shouted, be careful. So I gets in, big cavity, starts filling up.
Oh, no, God.
Yeah. So I darted out, and sea was still far out. And they went, it fills up from underneath.
Yeah.
And it actually comes out at cave before the level at sea gets to cave, because it goes underground and floods it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Lord, I didn't know, did I? Oh, yeah, that was. I was laughing, but it was. Yeah, I was laughing.
You could have told me that before I went into the cave.
Yeah.
Better to know, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, wow. But
like you and your fella, you're getting some right.
Yeah. We've fallen through walls and floors of different buildings, and
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it did say do not enter, unsafe. It's what you do. You go in anyway, and yeah, you do, don't you?
There's no gate keeping you out. In Scotland, at least, you can go anywhere you want. So
yeah, it's yeah, that's it, and it's I find it really interesting.
You know what, Eric, as well, it'd be good when you get here to put in for one of them heritage passes, because a lot of places do charge, don't they?
Yeah.
Go into castles, but if you get one of the heritage passes, it costs you next to nothing.
Wow.
Also, as well, there's these things called bothies. So in remote places, there's these like open small like cottages.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're walking and it gets a bit dangerous, or you're just walking and it's remote and you want somewhere to stay for a night, you can actually just go into a bothy and stay there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. I've only ever found one though. Something in my head tells me I want to find a few more. Yeah, but
have you
strange.
Have you been on that road, John? That what pulls you backwards?
No, I've heard about this, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
don't know
weird.
where it is. Yeah.
I can't remember. It's what the name of it is. Yeah, you go and you park up and you actually pull back. Someone might know the name of it in the.
Yeah, if you know the name of it, please let us know because I'll look that one up.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a something brain.
Right. I'll look into that then because yeah, it's a strange one. I've been to a couple of places where it's been reported people go and then they see a time slip and I saw a local's photo that they took and I saw the old car in the background and it and it was like a brown, not a grey scale but a brown scale kind of image and it was weird and it was just a strange thing. Oh, and I think I have been involved in a weird time slip as well.
Oh, I'm sure you have been. I have been for sure.
Have you?
Yep.
I was just wondering where were you because we were on top of a remote hill and it were a whiteout and it was just everything was strange and we like lost an hour and a half.
Yeah, mine was in the woods somewhere, up more north of Wisconsin here. Before they tore out the whole woods, there was like 200 acres of it, and I used to spend all my time in there. And I disappeared for an entire day one time.
Wow. And do those woods still exist?
Nope, they cut them all down to build houses.
Oh. Yeah. But where you are, Eric, there's a lot of nature reserves, isn't there?
Oh yeah, yep.
I can imagine there's some real good stories from up there.
Yeah, we are a Bigfoot country, so
yeah, Bigfoot, yeah. You see, I believe there is something out there. I don't know what it is, this Bigfoot, but I think some say, well, people would have seen it by now, but there's a lot of these. There's a lot of animals that if they don't want to be found, they won't be found.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's an apex predator and what if it's got that in them, like camels in wild, if they can detect you from miles off, and you'll just never come across one if they don't want to be found. A lot of animals can. So yeah, I believe there is something out there. I do watch it a lot. Yeah.
I'm sure they've got to be, places in areas that no one's come across. I mean, there could be underground things. They just never come across it.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about all the sightings that I've heard that from over there. I mean, you got to imagine, like I said, all those abandoned castles and buildings and stuff. Things got to hide in them during the day and come out at night. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think they have in the last few days. They have confirmed a big black cat.
Yep.
In wild in England. I forgot where it were actually, but they've said it's definitely there. And
yeah, there's been several sightings and several actual confirmed. The government said, yeah, we do have big black cats roaming around.
Yeah, I mean, those as well. If they don't want to be found, they won't be found.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but at the same time, if they don't like you being there, there's not much you're going to do.
I mean, look, they're always coming across like species that they've never known about, haven't they? Well, they've always been there all the time. They're just coming across them. I suppose if they're not looking properly, you're not going to find it, are you?
Yeah. I was reading today there were some water trapped under some land somewhere, and they've gone under, and they found new species of octopus and like these weird fish. And it's when you look at them, they're like proper alien like.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
No,
the big cats here are safe. Yeah, they are, I guess.
I wouldn't shoot one anyways if it can't. You just treat a big cat just like a little cat. Go, hey, stop it. Wow.
Oh, couldn't do it.
Yeah, you just it's no. I thing is, I want them to be there as well. I believe in like Scotland. It's a good place where they've reintroduced certain animals. And I think they've floated with the idea of introducing wolves back
Yeah.
into some places.
Yeah, there was reading. I've read that. Yeah, where they were going to introduce the wolf.
And that's because you've got to keep the amount of deers down as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a place where we do shooting practice, and there's people there. They get phone calls, say, "Do you mind coming up to Cumbria?" And help. It's about maintaining numbers.
Yeah.
And so I suppose, I'm sure
it's a natural predator, doesn't it?
Well, wasn't even hunting deer outlawed there too?
No. Strangely enough, in England and Scotland and that, Scotland's I think a bit more free with hunting rabbits, things like that.
Okay.
And well, in hunting in general. But yeah, you can have if you've got correct license and stuff, you can have some pretty interesting stuff over here. Yeah. I just go to I used to go, like, there's somewhere local where you can go for a day and have an air rifle shooting experience, stuff like that. But they do hunting around here. People have got shotguns, things like that. So it's they use it for pheasants.
Yeah.
So there's people with some interesting stuff over here, but
because they go ratting, don't you know? So.
Oh yeah, and in right place, there's a lot of deer hunting as well.
Yeah.
And they say because if it goes over a certain amount, road accidents go up, disease breaks out, and it can wipe them all out in certain areas.
Yeah.
So it's interesting stuff. But is it true that there's a few groups what have claimed to found evidence of Bigfoot, and it's been investigated. I was watching it last year, or were it just before COVID? And then I lost news of it. You see, I just wondered if anyone has heard about that, because
I haven't heard about that one, but I know a lot of people that do go out, but they don't want to disclose the locations half the time,
Yeah, well, it'd be a good idea not to if you found it, really, wouldn't it?
I mean,
because what happens to anything that you find?
I know the big national forest, it's protected, so they don't allow anybody to. That's where we think that they're hiding a lot of them, because the fact that whole land you can't even go on without a license or without permission. So
right, it makes sense. And there's a lot of areas as well over here in the internet where it's private land and you're not going in. You're not going in.
Not going.
I've stumbled into those areas and before, and
Now they keep you off, don't they?
Yeah.
the only difference is here is you're liable to get shot if you do. There, it's less likely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it's funny really as well because
here though, I mean, if you got dogs, they can shoot the dogs, though, can't they?
Yep.
You've got dogs and they go onto the land and they're bothering the sheep or whatever. They can actually shoot them.
Yeah,
they are allowed to do that.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, I was shot with salt.
I was shot up the backside.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah.
Waiting for me to go out. They were on the embankment of the railway. They waited till I walked past and they shot me up the arse with the pellet.
Well, I think the funniest thing is I was watching Haunted Scotland and or Spook Scotland, and they were in a graveyard, and there was a guy camping in the graveyard. I'm like, okay, whatever makes you happy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true that as well, because we went on an investigation and we were visiting an old tunnel used for coal mines,
Oh wow.
and there were 4 people sleeping in that tunnel,
Oh wow.
and we disturbed them. But luckily, they all had a chat with us on it, so that were all right. But we were pitch black. You know, you've got your torch, and do you know what? Even though 2 of them were right in front of us, we didn't catch them with torch.
Wow.
And we were basically stood right outside them, and they're looking up at us, and they were probably more like, "What are your guys doing?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, sorry, mate," like shining torch in his face, like, "Sorry," like that. And then, but they ended up having a nice chat with him, so
Nice.
telling us about the story, why they're there, and all that. So
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. But I've always been fascinated with America's abandoned places, because in UK there's not that much space to have an abandoned village.
Mm-hmm.
In America, I've read in Nevada there's more abandoned places than lived in places.
Yep.
And I thought, surely not. And there's like 450 villages and towns abandoned.
Yep.
It's like, that's a lifetime of me going around visiting these places. Mm-hmm. I'd love to. But that's what astonishes me, because I don't know what's going off there, you know, in those places, you know.
Well, see, what happened is that when America was being colonized and stuff like that, and it ended up being the Old West, and we had this big, massive gold rush where everybody was mining for gold. And as soon as those veins dried up, the whole town would disappear.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. And then I suppose it's not efficient enough to be in that place any longer.
Yeah, there's nothing there. It's all desert.
Yeah.
There is somewhere in Wales, but it's big in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and a hell of a job to get to.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the place, but that's an abandoned village there.
Yeah.
Or what's left of it. But apparently, when they asked it was really hard to get to.
Yeah.
Somewhere you'd have to basically get to and camp.
Gyro day.
Okay, gyro day.
I know what a gyro is, but I don't know what that means. I didn't know there was a gyro day.
Yeah, it's when people collect the money, in it. Yeah, on that.
No,
one.
they don't have gyro day sold out, do they? That's gone, isn't it? That's past that.
But the close. I mean, we've found a few. There's a few medieval abandoned villages where you can go and you can see remains of what. Like, there's one where it's like a church, and then these foundations of these houses. And story is, no one really knows why they fled that village, but apparently the priest at church went mad.
Oh wow!
He went crazy, and he might have told them a story about end of world or something. But either way, they fled, you know, and they left this village behind. But yeah, that's another place. What could be somewhere to visit, Eric? There's Eam village. What decided to shut themselves off so they didn't spread plague.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically went, no one comes in or out, and then, you know.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. that's kind of in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? It's just really nice as well.
Yeah. I told everybody that I go and visit that I don't want to do the touristy thing. I want to go out to these abandoned places and
yeah, that's best. That's best.
Yeah.
The tourist places are awful.
Yeah. Oh, there's yeah, yeah, we know a few actually. So yeah, there's yeah,
Let's get a list off, John. I think.
yeah.
You
I
want
mean,
a list off, John.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, especially in this area. But there were a chap from America what came to England, and it Killarney, the ghost hunter. But he tried loads of different food from England. It were in papers as well. Yeah, so he found that interesting because the different variations of food up and down country.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, you have to get that in as well while you're eating your dinners and that bit.
Are you
There's
still
some-
getting your bits and bats, Eric?
I've had this whole conversation with. I've had this whole conversation with baked beans and toast for breakfast.
baked beans, yeah, baked beans and toast. Yeah.
I'm like, really? I'm like,
I got to put a bit of cheese on that. Baked beans on toast with a bit of cheese on.
Oh, lovely. With
With
cheese.
beans.
And cook the beans twice. So eat them up, let them cool down, then eat them up again.
Yeah.
It makes them thicker. Yeah, I mean, I think it made some people realize when you see it how strange some people eat, and I think I'm up there because when I go for a curry, there's one place I have a sheep brain curry, and you ask for it because they don't put it on menu.
Oh no!
No, but it's really nice. It is really nice, and but yeah, like I have liver and onions. Some people love it, and then it's like marmite.
I love liver and onions.
I love it. Yeah, I feel ace after eating that. Did you like it or not?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Liver and onions with mash, you can't beat it.
And then
Beans toasted.
beans toasted. Oh, toasted. Yeah.
Toasted.
That's when you trap the beans and cheese with bread.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. It's, and then if you go to Stoke, they have cheese with pretty much everything.
Good.
Yeah, it's cheese on a bacon lettuce sandwich. You name it, it's on it. But yeah, I love. It were good to see differences, and it were asking people, just give me your local dish, I'll try it. And yeah, it were funny. It were funny to see. But
yeah, we've had the opposite here too. We had some couple guys from England come over young, and they were trying to eat it the ribs with a fork and a knife. I'm like, the guys had to stop and said, no. You take it, you grab it, you eat it. You don't have to use silverware.
yeah, get your hands dirty. Yeah,
it was funny.
Yeah. I can imagine.
The beans in the Old West are nothing like. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Definitely.
Have you ever had our beans, Eric?
No, but I plan on eating a lot of meals that I've probably never had in my lifetime there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we do meet up, I can sort you out with that.
There you go.
Got some strange meals. But it's, I mean, I think I'm still okay.
Yeah.
And I've had them a while. No, there's tripe. There's tripe in there as well, and
No.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. No.
But I mean, they used to eat that to clear throats at people what used to work in mills because they used to get wool on that in back of the throat. So they'd eat tripe. It's stomach lining at stomach's cow. Stomach's cow. It's lining of the cow's stomach.
Yeah.
My mum used to eat it.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, so I do.
Vinegar on it.
Yeah, vinegar. Loads of vinegar.
I got that.
Yeah. But yeah,
That, Eric, you don't want to know.
Wow. I don't think anybody can beat me. I've had blood sausage, and that's from a sheep's lining of their intestines. So
oh wow, that's good. That's that sounds like black pudding.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Robert Fulton, cod liver oil. Oh God.
Got to try the white pudding as well.
Yeah, you see, I've not had that. I've not had that.
That is nice.
Yeah, because if I went to America, I would want to try this biscuit gravy. It looks like it's white.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I might have looked it up, but I haven't.
If I can find a parts for it, and I'm over there, I will make you some.
Excellent. Excellent.
It's like grits. What are grits?
Oh yeah.
What are grits? I don't know what grits are.
Grits are chicken intestines.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Grits. I'd want to try
right
that.
up in a pan.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, I eat chicken liver, so
Yeah. Basically the same thing. It's all the in parts of a chicken that you fry up in a pan and.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
See, I think that's why it's great to experience different places.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And then and then it goes into like your local knowledge of abandoned places and haunted places, things like that. It's you can't beat it, can you? Just talking to other people.
See, and that's another reason why I want to go over there. Most of our, at least newer abandoned places, get tore down mostly. So they don't tear anything down. So
I think you'll find it all. I mean, it's very hard to find an abandoned building now.
Well, I mean, like old churches.
Really hard.
If there's an old church that old, they tear it down and build something else on top of it.
Yeah.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing here, isn't it now?
Yeah, there's a lot of protected places, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where they might not tear it down, but they might use it for something else.
Yeah.
But there were a bit of controversy because there were a church in York, but they wanted to save it, so they turned it into a nightclub. Wow. But personally, I've been in it, and because I wanted to see inside, and I'll be honest with you, it was good to see. It was good to see it saved in one way or another, you know.
Yes, old Maggie Thatcher Day roof tax, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So did they take the roof off then of some buildings because of that?
Not here, no.
Yeah. Over here we've had wind attacks, so you'll see some buildings where they've brick windows up. And I think what Robert's saying, there were a roof tax. I don't know much about that one, but it makes sense that they took some roofs off some buildings, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny too that some people pay a TV tax.
Oh.
What's
That's my newest favorite one. TV tax. I watch TV for free.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah.
I don't have a TV, so I don't watch it live. I just do it on the catch if I want, and I don't watch the channels anyway. But there's nothing on them.
No. So we're paying for BBC, aren't we? And
British broadcasting.
Yeah. Yes. And at the moment, we're looking at not getting rid of that. There's people trying to get rid of it, and
they're trying to make you pay it through. You were on about paying it through your insurance and stuff and your tax, weren't they?
Yeah.
To take it off you.
Yeah.
Well, then again,
go out on your wages and what have you before you'd even got them.
But then again, like I said before, there's some states in America that if you go on a person's porch, they can shoot you, and they won't get in trouble for it.
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean,
old days. The old buildings, they painted the hole to look like a window.
Wow.
Right. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. what they had to do.
Also, I'd like to find, those abandoned churches and castles and stuff and find out what's underneath them too. Because you got to remember, these people were rich and they had to hide a whole bunch of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's one where you can.
Monks had a lot of them, didn't they? Because escape, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of places here like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, you weren't allowed to be you weren't allowed to be a practicing Catholic. So they made chapels underground and all those kind of things were happening. In Pontefract, there's a castle where you can visit it, and they've opened up the cellar underneath. I believe they trapped someone down there for 6 months because he were really good at making gunpowder.
Wow.
So they trapped him down there to make loads of gunpowder. Right, just loads of little stories like that. It's crazy, But when we went down, the tour guide, he said, "We know of this. We know there's another section, but we haven't opened it up yet. So no one's been in that bit for a long time, probably hundreds of years."
Like 300-400 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's been that long. No one knows how long it's been. It's like, but there were a building in Derby. It's now Derby Jail, and you can visit it.
Yeah.
And they literally just no one had been in that cellar section, and they just thought it were a cellar. Wow. It's like we're actually an old jail system.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a wall, and they went, "We're going to knock through that soon when everything's right, and have a look at next section." But in effect, no one's been there either for a long time, a very long time. So It's like these places still exist, and I like that kind of thing because it's like, wow.
Yeah, I know. It's cool.
Yeah. And there's a lot of underground places as well, what we used to shelter from World War II, from bombing. Yeah, because one place I really liked were Malta, because in Malta you can literally get from one side to other underground. They've got ancient cave systems, bunkers, everything just underground. It's crazy.
Well, I did find out I could buy a bunker if I want to. So.
Oh yeah, was it one of those old nuclear bunkers?
Yep.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking for a place, because I'm going to be buying over there once I get enough years over there. So, and I was looking at everything, and I'm like, "Yep, I can buy a bunker. Can do that."
Yeah.
Hi, Irene.
Hi, Irene.
How you doing? I believe they're those old nuclear monitoring bunkers.
Most heavily bombed place on Earth. Yeah.
And where I live in Sheffield, at one point they were producing and exporting the most ammunition on Earth, and we got heavily targeted, like. And to this day, when they're doing some works, they'll find an old World War II bomb, and they've got to corner area off, get someone to go in, defuse it, all that. They still find them underground. My grandma, we used to work in a factory putting buttons on uniforms.
Wow.
And a bomb went through the building, landed on ground floor, but it didn't go off.
Oh, wow.
And she were looking down over it, and they just gone with the work.
Jeez.
But yeah, if you visit Emergency Services Museum in Sheffield, it shows you a map of all known recorded locations where they drop bombs and incendiaries and that. And it's when you look at it and you see it, you think, "Wow, we got hammered."
Oh yeah, definitely.
We were getting hammered. But,
Yeah, I heard about them finding. Well, what? Just last year they found another bomb, and they uncovered it.
yeah, it's and then the concentration camp for the captured soldiers. They put it in the middle of nowhere. Well, on outskirts of Sheffield, pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and they did that because they didn't. The Geneva Convention and stuff, like those kind of rules.
Mm.
They didn't want to put people they captured in a place where their own could bomb them.
Yeah.
So they put them in the middle of nowhere. But that particular camp, it held something like there were black, grey, and white prisoners. So there were your white class, which were just your average soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Grey, they were a bit nationalist, and then there were black, which is they were like leaders, generals. And when the one of the guys what were held there was the replacement of Hitler for Third Reich. He were kept there. Yeah, we definitely do, Irene. Actually, Irene, I think I share the same birth date as you, don't I?
I don't know.
I think I do. But yeah, it's July 16th. Yeah.
So that war camp, that's still part of it's still there, right? People,
you can see foundations of buildings.
cool.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I know we did. Yeah. And it held 10,000 people.
Wow.
And they were mostly Italians, Germans. But the locals would go out and feed them through fence. And I like those stories because it reminds you there's humanity. Even though they were classed as the captured enemy, locals would go out and think, you're starving, man. Here's some food, Yeah, Irene, we'll have to catch up. Definitely. Yeah. And then my granddad, he were in home guard because he wanted to go into war, but he got the slip to work down mine. So he said some German pilots had come over and they weren't allowed to go back with bullets. So what they'd do is not shoot them and then just waste them all in a park. But one day he saw a kid going through a park and a plane coming. So he put his hand up and pilot put his hand up and he held off and he grabbed kid and moved him along. And he says, but he told me stories to say, even the bad guy in the plane, he had humanity. They had this thing going on. Obviously, there were a lot of non-humanity. But there's small stories, and it's amazing, really.
Well, can anybody go? Can you go there and investigate it?
That camp, yeah, you can go in there. It's actually they've let just a wood grow over it.
Okay.
And you can walk through all walk in between all remains and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
you'll have to show me that.
Yeah, and especially in autumn when things are starting to die, because it gets overgrown.
Yeah.
But in some places, you can see the tiles on the floor that were bathroom, stuff like that. And one thing I have noticed as well, there's not much nature in there. I've been there a few times and you don't see rabbits or squirrels.
Wow.
It's very minimal. I mean, you go to a wood behind me, it's full of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You walk in, it just feels a bit different,
Yeah.
Basically, they avoid it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they do. They probably go into an area and think, these mad humans have been here. I'm getting out. Yeah. No, thank you, Irene. Yeah. Yeah, no, she's. I looked into a few things about. That's another thing. Meeting people like shows over in Japan, and like the story of that samurai in Tokyo. They moved his grave, and I think would it Mitsubishi or something, and they had terrible luck, and they went, right, we've got an idea, and they put his grave back in place, and they've opened a bank account for that samurai, and it's open to this day, and they pay money into it, and it's to basically appease his spirit, and they've been all right since. I wrote that up on my blog somewhere, and I learned about it. And I'm like, that is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, gee. But hey, if it works, then
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I have to look that up too.
Scotland as well. I love it. It's amazing. I went to Castle Menzies, where I think it was a castle used in Braveheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, will do. And it's near this place called Aberfeldy, and they do whiskey, and it's beautiful. But the old countryside around it it's gorgeous. So,
Yeah.
hills, and then we went up an hill, and there was St David's Well, and it's a well just there, and you're like, wow, it's just I like Scotland. And then I went to west coast of Scotland. It's got loads of caves, all sorts.
Yep.
But yeah,
Also, there's everything there, isn't there? I think Wales as well. There's a place where there's
Yeah.
yeah. I've been to Anglesey. I've been to Anglesey. That's really good. They've got like a prehistoric village, remains of it, and then they've got this massive lighthouse. Eric, yeah. So by the time you've gone up and down, it's 1,800 steps.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt it that day.
I believe it.
Yeah, and I mean Whitby's bad enough. Place for Count Dracula, it's 100 steps. But yeah, Whitby's a nice place. So
yeah. It's a nice village.
Yeah. I mean, there's Whitby. It's like Count Dracula. You think of that, but they do loads of things there. They're doing a Krampus run as well for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what Vivian was saying actually.
All right, yeah. I kind of want to make it there this year. But yeah, that'd be really good.
Nice place to go and stay though, Whitby. I've been there. I've stayed there a couple of times.
I have, yeah, definitely.
Nice
My brother, he got us a camping spot, and he went, "Oh, it's just here." And we finished work. We went, starving, no food. Got his tents up. So we went to call a takeaway. They won't come out that far. So one of them, 4 guys, and we empty his luggage. Right, what food have we got? And it was one of them, scabby apple, cake bar.
Nothing there.
But, we had a full bottle of Aftershock red. Right, well, we'll eat what we can and then just get drunk.
Right away, go away.
Yeah. I woke up next morning and there were a tank coming towards me.
Really?
Yeah. What we'd done is, Phil didn't tell me there were a tank experience right next to camp. So I saw this big tank coming over the hill. I'm like, Phil, guys, there's a tank. I'm like, why is there a tank? And he goes,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I didn't remember getting that drunk, but I enjoyed the war.
Yeah. But actually, there were some Americans there camping, and they had back a car open, and they had everything. And they gave us a bottle of water actually for us. They were really nice, and they had everything in this car. And they were basically doing a tour from Scotland to London.
Wow.
And they were stopping off in different places. And they went, "You all right, guys? Right? You ain't got a fire?" I went, "No, we've brought nothing." They went, "You might want some water." I went, "Oh, thanks. That's great." And so we had a chat with them. But yeah, I woke up and they were just like tank. They were like, Phil, guys, No, what's going off? What's going off here? And we were on an hill as well, camping on an hill, and there were a cliff here to see. And I'm like, so every time I rolled over, you were a bit conscious, even though it were a distance away from edge.
Yeah.
You were a bit conscious of rolling up. Every time you rolled up, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to roll into the sea. So yeah, it's one of them as well. So if you don't find a ghost when investigating, as long as you have a great time, you find some history. Talk to people.
That's just as important, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
That's the whole point of doing this trip to begin with, not just to be able to ghost hunt, but to be able to see the buildings historic,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got buildings way beyond the age that we have here in America anywhere. So
Yeah, I mean, that one that I was telling you about, the Wentworth House. There's been a wooden building there since 13th century.
yeah.
And then now it's just it's bigger than Buckingham Palace. It's massive. And I'm sure they said there were a room for each day a year.
Wow.
In there. So it's big, but the history behind it's massive because they sent people to America when there were a famine, and they drafted some pages for American independent, document. They drafted them in that building as well.
Wow.
So it's really sort of packed full of history. Like,
I can imagine.
Yeah, and when you go in, you go into entrance hall, and there's this big white statue of this goddess. And it's a pagan goddess from village next to Pompeii, what got destroyed. And it's 2,000-year-old, that statue.
Wow.
Mad. Yeah, it's in Apollo. It's a woman god. It's a goddess. It's I forgot. I'd have to remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an ancient thing.
Wow. So what's coming up this weekend, guys?
We're doing epigenetic patterns. Sunday.
Yep. Yeah.
We did the soul, didn't we, last week?
Yeah.
And we're going to do like the body sort of this week.
Yeah.
And that's Sunday UK time at 8 p.m.
7 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get that mixed up. I'm 6 hours behind you guys, so
yeah. Oh, I've done that. Someone asked me to go on a podcast in America, and they went, "What time is it?" And they went, 11 o'clock or something like that. But I didn't. I forgot, and basically, whatever time it were, it ended up being 3 morning over here, and I'm like, "Oh, what?" So I set my alarm. Went to bed early, set my alarm, woke up. I did it anyway, and it was good.
Well, since all my friends are over there, I left my messaging on one night, and that's the last night that I left it on at 3 o'clock in the morning. Ding, ding.
Ding,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what the?
Yeah, that happens, doesn't it? Definitely. Well, thank you, Rita.
That's it, guys. That's an hour.
Yep. Nice. It's been great. Nice talking to you, Eric and Annette.
Yeah.
It's been talking to everyone. Good talking to everyone in comments.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming in.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.